Okay, yeah. So as you've been told, we are the Pack Rats, and we're very excited to share our capstone project with you guys. If you care to listen.
Hi everyone, my name is Alfa. I'm a senior nursing major and I use she, her first pronouns. Hi, my name is Alexis. I'm a working psych major and I use she, her first pronouns.
And I'm Jared. I use he, him pronouns, and I am a sociology major.
Hello, my name is Sam, and I use she, they pronouns, and I'm a chemistry major.
So moving on to our mission statement, we as the Pack Rats spouse to hold accountability for one another individually and as a team as we embark on this project, leading with humility and inclusive mindset and curiosity while growing in our leadership. We hope to remain open-minded and steadfast as we use our passions, empathy, and intellect to search for solutions in the pursuit of supporting the unhoused populations. So, for just by show of hands, has anyone ever been experienced when they felt unprepared? Basically, the word. So that's something that's a universal feeling. And so timing for a project, in my experience at City Hall Quality, it was an amazing one. There was a situation where one of the individuals that we were serving grew impatient and was being frustrated with waiting to be served, and expressed that to me on the floor during there. And really, really nervous, and I was super questioning myself as to whether I can handle the situation properly. This is something I've never experienced before. And so
And with my story being quite similar to hers, I felt like a little overwhelmed when taking multiple orders towards the kitchen. And I noticed there weren't that many staff members available, which is understandable with such a hardworking nonprofit. And so I felt like I was on my own.
And so based on these two interactions, it got me thinking about some volunteering I've done with other organizations such as 826 Valencia, where I was working at a school in Hunters Point. And what they had that was a bit different was a more comprehensive training process at the front end of volunteering. And that helped on two levels. At first, we were more equipped to deal with some of these like smaller problems that just require simple solutions. And it also allowed the organization to really share their overall vision and their values and why they're doing what they're doing.
yeah, so kind of thinking about the stories that we have told and knowing that we have all had experience where we feel unprepared, right? We identified that our issue is without adequate training, volunteers may feel unprepared and intimidated when working with nonprofit organizations that serve the unhoused.
And so with that would lead to the decrease in volunteer retention rates, as well as an increase in stigma when you want to work with nonprofits that help the unhoused. So it would be game-changing to have that reverse, wouldn't it? So having increased volunteer retention rates and decreased stigma when working with the unhoused. So we came up with a question of how might we achieve our goal in empowering volunteers through the power of knowledge, and then we want to focus centrally on new as well as current volunteers.
Introducing
Volunteer
And leadership development
program. So what is that? That is a 45-minute in-person, comprehensive and holistic training that can be done at the orientation or in the middle of a volunteership. This is first hosted by us, the Pack Rats. Then we'll start planting the seed in different nonprofits. When we then train one person, they can then spread the good word and then train their own organizations. We'll start at the heart of San Francisco and then start moving forward with different nonprofits. We hope to expand to other cities.
Eventually, yes. And so the plan for this model is that it's going to be something available for anyone and everyone that's interested in working with organizations that service the unhoused. The goal is to help both volunteers and also nonprofits not need to invest that amount of time in adequately training folks. The goal is that once your training is complete, you can then use it at other organizations that have partnered with our program. And then eventually we'd like to incorporate other more specified trainings to it as well. If you need food certification or specializing with dealing with minors, you can get that for one organization, but once you have that piece, then you can bring it to other organizations. In this way, our volunteers would be like little pack rats of knowledge, hoarding little pieces of data and skills to then use for the organizations they serve.
So just to reiterate, it will be an in-person training cohort style. And then upon completion of the training in totality and 5 hours of volunteering, individuals will be given a certification that they will be able to take on with them, and then they will be able to use it for LinkedIn, resumes, or they'll be able to take it to volunteer for any organization that's decided to collaborate with a development program. Also, we will be giving out a pamphlet or a flyer at the end of the training. This is just meant to serve as a refresher, reminder, something that people can review because it is a lot of information. But this is something that we really want to make sure that people are able to hone in on and always remember. And then individuals upon completing training also will be able to facilitate their own training, so they can train for that, just creating a global network of informed and educated volunteers. And also all of the content and the resources that was gathered from this training are based off nationally recognized institutions. Like NAMI, the Training Institute, and the National Crisis Prevention Institute. And that's just to ensure that our training is accurate, but also that it's appropriate for today's time. So going into why do we have this program and who does it benefit? So obviously a big portion of nonprofits is recruiting the volunteers. So with this certification, it would increase volunteer recruitment, but also retention, and having our volunteers stay knowing that they're adequately trained. We want to reduce the workload on nonprofit organization staff to reduce burnout. And we want to also address the stigma of working with the unhoused population and provide comprehensive education with working with a population with such specialized and individual needs. We want to connect you to a network of trained and passionate volunteers who have a similar mindset, mission, and vision to be a person for others. This is created by us, the PACRATs, for volunteers by volunteers.
Yeah, so if you guys see there's a sample pamphlet on your tables. So yeah, some of the core components of the training we want to do would be in these. First, we want to have expectations and rules for the volunteers that will be working with the unhoused. And doing this, we want to be able to instill a vision for what we're doing, but also provide understanding of the complex and multifaceted needs that the community they're servicing require.
And so like Alexis's story in the beginning, we want to equip our volunteers with available de-escalation tips that are provided by the Crisis Prevention Institute. You see 10 steps in that pamphlet. We also will include additional resources and an easy to scan QR code for a video that will help educate these volunteers whenever needed. It also helps them whenever they need to de-escalate on their own, reducing the burden on the full-time staff that could be focused on other tasks.
And the last component of our training would just be some self-care and mental health resources. Being that I do have the psych background that I have, it's really, really important that you take care of yourself, because you can't show up for others, you can't show up for yourself. So we really just want to provide avenues for people to help themselves at their own discretion.
And then lastly, in terms of the future, what we really want to build is a way to synthesize data from this information. So we gather feedback from the volunteers, both about their experience working with nonprofits and their experience of the training. How well did the training go with them? And that would be made available to both our organization and the organizations we work with, so they can kind of optimize their programs in order to increase retention.
Thank you for being here.